You all know the position when you prepare so long and so hard and you're ready to beat your opponent. When you go to the board, sit, and when he plays an offbeat opening from the start of the move. Yes, I know how that feels. But what if I told you you could stop being surprised in the situation by watching a YouTube video, more likely a YouTube series? Yes, I'm going to make a series on how to beat offbeat openings, and it is going to surprise your opponent. So let's get into the video.
So many people play King's Indian attack or shortly for KIA just because they want to avoid the preparation or the opening lines or even to surprise the opponent. So you can assume when an opponent plays King's Indian attack, he's looking for a very safe and rather sound game. And the second thing is, up white playing King's Indian attack, they will be not be very much prepared. First thing first, the reason why white plays King's Indian attack is there is no need to prepare for white. He can just simply keep a setup. So that's why you are going to prepare from black side so you can counter it correctly. And anybody who prepares King's Indian from white, they're just weird. So first of all, what's King's Indian attack? It's the brother or the little brother of the King's Indian defense, which is played from the black side, and just the simple difference is it is played from the white side. So first we are going to look into the main line. So this is a really nice line. You will have a very solid setup and thoroughly prepared, so whenever you face the opponent you can easily win with him. So first things first, knight f3, so the standard move from white side, and then we play the d5. So d5 is much common response. Some players play knight f6. So if a player is some sort like if they play the Nimzo Indian or even the King's Indian defense, they play the knight f6 line, but I think the d5 is also fine, nothing wrong with it. So g3, this is the main line if white wants to play the King's Indian attack. If he plays d4 here, it changes into the queen pawn opening, and I think it has nothing relevance to this line. So g3 here, and now we play the move bishop g4. So many players in this line, what they do is they also play safely like white. So you may have seen many setups where black just goes like this: knight f6, g6, g6, bishop g2, bishop g7, castling, and and being white, he has experience in this line much more than us. So we are breaking the similarity by playing bishop g4, and I think you can see what is our plan. We have a very solid setup ahead of us. We're keeping our pieces much solider and a very different position for him where he needs to think and play. And then he plays the move bishop g2. So as a normal setup, now we play the move c6. You can see there's a one common rule: when the bishop is on the fianchetto position, we need to always keep a pawn structure like this. You can see. So what happens is when you suppose if there is no knight here, the bishop's ability to attack or even the range is limited by these two pawns. For suppose if the pawn is on, if so I mean the bishop is on b2, then we keep our pawns on e5 and f6. So it's vice versa, same for white and black. So this is a very solid setup, and it helps us to counter the g2 fianchetto. Now white does the castling. Now we play nd7 and d3. So before we continue with the move, I would just like to tell you that there is a fact that subscribing is very much free and you can unsubscribe anytime you want. So make sure you do that. It will help me a lot. So continuing. So d3. So d3 is a much common move. If he plays d4, and as I told, it will convert into the queen pawn opening. It has no relevance in this line. And continuing, d3 is the main move. They go for the e4 break. That's the main idea for white in this King's Indian attack. e4. The whole game goes on that. So moving on, e6. You can see our structure. It's very similar to slab, and slab is a very much what do you say, a solid opening, and your opponent won't be expecting this kind of setup because he's very much used to the symmetrical type of structure. And he plays e4. So e4, as I told, is a common break, and if he doesn't play e4, I don't think he has a common knowledge how to play king's in attack, or he may be new to the opening, but e4 is an important move to play. And now we play bishop d6. So we're developing our pieces, we're moving in, and he plays knight bd2. Okay, knight bd2 is sensible because now we if we play something like knight c3, we may have something like knight e5 in the future. See, there is a lot of pressure on this f3 knight. The queen cannot move because we can capture. So knight bd2 seems a little bit logical. So after knight into knight b d2, after that we play knight e7. So many of you may ask, why not we play the move knight f6? I mean, it's logical. I mean, there is an often rule you need to develop your knight to f6. But see, the position demands a certain kind of play here. See, the knight on e7 is doing much better. I mean, the knight on e7 is doing much better than knight on f6. Second thing second, because in this line we are going for the f5 break, and knight being on f6 is a very much obstacle for that. And why we go to f5 break? You see, we are the idea of the bishop g4 comes here. The bishop g4 is a damn thrown in white's position. See, you can see the spin. It is going to be stuck for him for a long time. So we are going to use this by playing f5. So knight e7 is the move. So he plays h3, bishop h5. See, it's common. He wants to get rid of that pin because he also sensed it that this is going to be a problem in the future. So he plays queen e1. You can see. Now we do castling and knight h2. So he's also understanding. He's also trying to plan. He's also trying to counter the plan with g4, f4. You can see like that. So now we play e5. See, in this opening, white tries for e4 and we try for e5. So that's the main line because the pawn breaks. See, for every opening there's certain type of pawn breaks, and when you get the pawn breaks you are in the upper hand. So it's always important to remember what are the pawn breaks in your openings. That will help you get the upper hand in the opening. So king h1, queen c7. You can see we're just developing a bit. See, you can see his position and you can see our position. See how our pieces are totally in the second hand, and you can see our pieces are much more active. You may argue our pieces are still behind, but they have a very nice potential, unlike white species, which need a lot more developing to be at least to come to our range. Knight b3, rook a e8, bishop d2, f5. See, I told you the f5 break is important. The pawn breaks which help you in the opening. Yeah, one of the pawn breaks is f5, ef5, knight f5, g4. Oh, you may say, oh no, we lost a piece. How can we win this game? This opening line is a crap. But no, I've got something smart up my sleeve. e4. You can see now. Now I'm attacking the h2 knight. If you capture any of my pieces, I'll capture the h2 knight. And second thing, this rook is spinning the e1 queen. And this is the end of the opening line. And I think this is a very great uh, place to conclude it, because you can see your position is much better, and you can, if you can win this opening if you play like a normal human being, unless you throw it away. So this I think is a better position to conclude it. We have a much better pieces, and this queen is attacked, the knight is attacked. So I think I think I can conclude my main line here. Now moving on to the sidelines. The first sideline we have at the third move. So in this position, your opponent be like, oh no, I need to surprise him right now and play something like knight e5. And you can say, oh no, I know. And after seeing this video, you'll be like, oh no, I know this move. I just saw it. And you play bishop f5, and you're not at all getting surprised by your opponent. And he plays something like bishop g2. You can simply play knight d7. See the structure in this opening. The knight d7, e6, knight, bishop d6, knight is the structure in the opening will remain the same through many lines in the games, because that's that decides, that sets, like it's like a skeleton in our body. Our skeleton sets the shape of our body. So the structure of the position is like that. It sets the shape of our body. So knight d7, he plays d4, we place e6 and castling. I'm just gonna speed it two moves because I don't think the knight e7 is such a big surprise. I mean, okay, you attack my bishop, then what? Your knight is just like sitting on e5 being doing nothing. Knight gf6, c4, c6, knight c3, bishop e7, queen b3. We're gonna exchange the queen b6, knight d7, knight d7, e4, d4, knight e4, castling. I think this is a very great position to conclude it. We have a very nice position, and our, I mean, as black, our main objective in any game is to get equality first. So if, and in this position we have much more than equality, we are slightly better than equality, and I think it's much, I think this is the dream position I can give you in this opening. So yeah, let's conclude in this. And next sideline is sixth, sixth move. Here, as I told you, e4 is the main choice by white, but some players may be tricky and go like c4. You may say, okay, you said like d4. If they're not playing d4, they might be new and they do not know. But sometimes players try to trick it or even delay the e4 move just to know what your ideas can be in the position. So first alternative is b3. You can see our plans. Same, it's the same throughout the game. Like I told you, the structure of our position is just like the skeleton of our body. It determines our position. ngf6, bishop b2. Bishop d6, c4, castling, and b2, a5, a3, bishop h5. You may ask why I played bishop h5. It's a flag 6 move played. Many players play it. So where you're not giving white a chance to play h3. So rook a2. Okay, I think this is a better position to conclude this line because as you see, position is equal. What you need more from playing from black side? If you're playing from white side, then if you got equal, then it's a bad line. But if you're playing from black and got an equal position, I guess it's fine. So moving on to the another alternative, it's c4. So it's just like a brother of e4, but in a very worse manner. So bishop d6, cd5, ed5. I'll even tell you why. What is the problem with c4? See, why we play e4? See, first things first. By playing the e4 break, what we are doing is, let me keep it for you. Is you can see our whole the king's in an attack just like the kid. For example, why we play e5 in the kid? To open up our position, to develop your pieces and set the mood for the game on the king side. The same way in king's in attack, we are playing e4 to develop our pieces, to open our game and set the mood to attack on the king side. As I told you, both are very same. They have much similarities. The name is also similar. So yeah. So c4, okay, but it's not opening the position. First things first. Bishop d6, cd5, ed5. Now we have the better position because e5. If we open the e5 also, it's similar to the e4 break. So knight c3, knight e7, queen c2, castling, e4, knight c5, bishop e3, knight e6. So this position is much, we are very happy in this position. We have the d4 idea next, and we even have a much better placed pieces than him. His our pieces are very much coordinated, and we may go for f5 break in the future. But his pieces are littered, like he just scrambled them on the game. So that's our advantage in this line. So moving on to our next alternative, it's going to be seventh move, queen even. So what if he if he decides, no, I'm gonna remove the queen pin early in the game, I don't care what happens. So I have a plan for this also. So first, okay, so why did he play queen even? So just to remove, as I said, to remove this annoying pin, and maybe try to open up this king file. So we play knight e7, blocking up the king's blocking the queen's view to the king. nbd2, castling, h3, bishop h5. So I think this position is much I think there is nothing to worry about in this position. It is still dynamic. Yeah, I can say that, but you have nothing to worry. What you need more? Okay, I think we can conclude our sidelines in this. Um, doing a series called "How to Beat." Uh, how to beat. Okay, I did not even decide the series. I'll decide it right now. How to beat sidelines from the black side, or it may be anything new. I don't know. I'm just giving you a name. But one thing I surely know is that you need to subscribe right now, because if you want to see more lines from black spanking white in sidelines, subscribe right now.